other day I was watching a podcast about lifestyle design and just building a life around your unique strengths. And one thing I deeply resonated with was this idea of balancing creating content with actually experiencing real life. Because honestly, I just feel like so many creators will never fully admit this to themselves, but it's so extremely easy to just lose touch with reality within trying to build yourself online. Or you convince yourself that more creation is the solution to building a life of freedom and wealth, right? The life you desire. And of course, the past year of posting content across YouTube, across X, Twitter, across Instagram has undeniably 10x'd my life for the better, but at the same time also for the worse in some ways, right? Chronically living through a screen, always thinking about content ideas 24/7, just less time creating novel experiences and going on adventures within my days. Even a bit of disconnection within my relationships across family, friends, and God. And so that podcast had me thinking there's genuinely a pipeline many guys are likely experiencing right now within wanting to post content and document their life online. And the way I conceptualize it is going from consuming to creating to actually living. Because I and many other guys pursuing personal development start off consuming more than we create or actually experience life. Really honest, things like TikTok and Reels, video games, anime and TV shows, random YouTube videos. But as you mature and start looking to grow mentally, physically, and spiritually, you start consuming more productively in terms of, the books, the self-help videos, the podcasts, right? Just basically content that actually gives you real value across those pillars of mindset, of health, and spirituality. But even with consuming less brain rot and more education, at the end of the day, you're still living from that consumer-based identity. Constant consumption and stacking up knowledge and information, it's all pointless if you can't convert what you consume into a form of creation. Even more is that you start living vicariously through other creators, pedestalizing their success due to the lack of creation within your own life. Why I knew deep down I didn't want to be a consumer just watching other people live my dream life forever, right? I had a burning desire to start creating and documenting my own journey and life online, aligning with my inner creative and just spreading my unique gift to the world through my own content. Why I see now most creators inevitably have to go through that initial phase of creating more and consuming less, actually using social media not to doom scroll but to grow and build a personal brand or online business, gaining an audience, connecting with other creators, just transforming others' lives through your own ideas and transformation. Largely how I envisioned living from that creator identity would be. But now I find myself at the second half of that pipeline in terms of creating less, living more. Because over time, I fell into the trap of believing I had to devote all my time and energy towards content to just start growing my online presence, posting every single day without fail, spending hours upon hours working on content, studying all the videos from other successful creators, entrepreneurs, business owners. But approaching and creating content in this manner eventually started to feel like such a chore, something that I was revolving my entire day around. I convinced myself I was building my dream life while simultaneously becoming more and more detached from the same life I was supposedly building. Relationships began to suffer and my lifestyle became more and more inauthentic. What's more, my content only became lower quality and less aligned with who I was at heart. I was just desperately trying to copy from others, obsessing over other people's journeys and their success with online business. Overall, I started living from the identity of a creator that made content out of fear rather than faith, refusing to give myself permission to actually live my life unless my content was performing well. And so it's why in making this video, I've decided to lean into that transition of less creation and more living, simplifying the creative process, stripping it down to being able to do more in less time like an essentialist. Less time spent editing, recording, and writing, and more time to stack XP and build skills within the real world. In truth, I just want to lean out and trim the fat off my entire content system when it comes to documenting 365 Align across YouTube, X, and Instagram. 100% much easier said than done, but I know it'll be a huge unlock for achieving those goals I set for aligning mind and spirit by the end of 2026, right? Genuinely transforming others' lives through content creation whilst designing and living a truly authentic life. Deep down, I know that 2.0 version of myself is living more than he is creating, right? Being able to post high quality content, share his ideas, help others align across mind, body, and spirit, all without making personal branding and online business his entire life. That way he has time to allocate towards the things that truly matter beyond screens and technology in terms of physical health and fitness, real life skill and personal development, deepening my relationships and spiritual practice. And so the practical actionable here to facilitate that alignment towards living more, creating less, is to just ask yourself how simple and frictionless you can make your overall work and creative process, right? What would genuinely allow you to maximize the quality of your work in as little time as possible? For me, I'm personally aiming to strip my content blocks down to 2 hours max across all my socials, right? Aligning towards the 80-20 of things to double down on within documenting and actually living out 365 aligned. More time spent writing long form, minimalistic editing, adjusting how and when I create and post content within and throughout the day. Regardless of where you are in that pipeline in terms of being mostly a consumer or creator, find your lifestyle and overall identity towards primarily experiencing life in person instead of online. And as I'm beginning to grasp myself, your mental and spiritual health will especially thank you for making that transition. Because at the end of the day, that's what this 365-day journey I've been documenting on here is all about, right? Aligning those pillars of mind, body, and spirit for holistic health and real transformation. Dialing in your fitness, your work, and personal development without sacrificing your soul and who you are in the process. Precisely what living more, creating less achieves within designing and building a truly authentic, aligned life. So if any of that resonates, just tap in for more daily downloads and doses of alignment across here, X, and Instagram. Just continuing to document the process and overall journey within unlocking a 2.0 self, right? Aligning those health pillars across mind, body, and spirit. As always, appreciate you for investing your time and eyeballs towards this video. Consume less, create less, and above all, live and experience more. Keep aligning towards you, but 2.0. Stay aligned.